I didn't come this far to only come this far. I hear some people saying things like, when I make it, when I get to the top. I'll keep working hard until I get to the top, until I reach my goal. Let me tell you something. There's no end. Winners never stop. If you reach your goal, set a bigger goal. If you get to the top of the mountain, find a bigger mountain. It's the journey, the continued pursuit of growth, the constant seeking of improvement, the challenge. That's what makes life great. That's what makes a fulfilled life. I didn't come this far to only come this far. When I get this goal, I'll seek more. Not more things, more growth. Constantly pushing myself to be better. I didn't come this far to only come this far. I came this far so I could be strong enough to go further. So I'll be good enough to push myself harder. I'm only getting started. This is just the beginning. I'm proud of my achievements, but that doesn't mean I'll settle for them. Proud, but never satisfied. Proud, but forever hungry. Proud and always ready. Proud, but pushing. Pushing for more. Pushing for great. A true winner doesn't seek only the title. A true winner seeks growth. A true winner seeks greatness. It's the journey. It's the challenge. Don't tell me it's over. I'm just getting warmed up. If the journey wasn't challenging, the destination wouldn't be rewarding. It's the challenge that makes the greatness. You can't have a champion athlete without great competitors pushing them all the way. You can't have the greatest of all time without champions pushing them all the way. It's the journey, the process that makes the greatness. If you reach your goal, set a bigger goal. If you get to the top of the mountain, find a bigger mountain.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 14th episode of Let's Talk It Out podcast. I'm Cliff Schultz, aka Trey Bizzy, and I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight because you didn't have to. I'm glad you guys decided to take time out of your day to come have a conversation with me. Before I want to get going any further, I've announced across social media that this week and next week will be my last week with the Bears Barroom Radio Network. With Let's Talk It Out. Let's Talk It Out. It's branching it out into its own thing. Let's Talk It Out is still going to be a live chat room, but we're going to do it on YouTube, and we will still upload the podcast on Podbean and iOS and Android platforms. So make sure you follow the social media accounts on LTIO Podcast. That's LTIO Podcast for Instagram and Twitter, and Let's Talk It Out Podcast on Facebook, if you guys want to stay in tune with everything. But don't worry, everything will be posted, and we will definitely keep you guys up to date with everything that's going to happen with the podcast, because it's about to go to a whole nother level. Again, we are branching out from Bears Barroom, which I am very, very, very grateful for the opportunity to be able to use the network to record the show in the first place. So, hello chat room. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you guys for tuning in. Tonight, I'm not alone. As usual, I have a special guest tonight. My guest's name is Jasmine Godfrey. She's a nursing student, and she decided to come have the conversation with us tonight. So, Jasmine, if you could tell people a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everybody. As he said before, my name is Jasmine Godfrey. I am a first-year nursing student at IUPUI. I just want to come on here and just, further discuss the topics that he has for us to discuss.
Yes, we have pretty big topics to talk about tonight. Hey, Mom. My mom says hi.
Hey.
So I want to go ahead and dive right into there, Jasmine. How is nursing school? Like, you incorporate that with you're working full time, I assume.
I am. Right now, I'm doing online classes. So, it's actually a little bit more flexible for me to do so and work as well. It's very, very overwhelming to do so. So, more than likely, I'm probably going to quit my job and just do schooling as a whole so I can focus on that since I only have my program's only a year. So, just go ahead and finish that off and be a nurse. That's my goal.
Well, yeah, I mean, online classes do make things a lot less stressful, but there's still a
Hmm.
lot of stress that comes with being able to work full time and also focus on homework and studying,
Yes, definitely.
taking time to take quizzes and online. I
Hmm.
mean, granted, just open book most of the time. It's not like the damn teacher's gonna be in your house telling you not to use your book, but
Right. And it's actually easier. However, it's a mixture. Like, in undergrad, I was live in class. So it's easier to, um, pay attention to the lectures per se versus having lectures straight to your face. But it's easier to access online. You can, what I'm saying, listen to it whenever you want to, bring it to you wherever you want to go in the car, at home. Um, so yeah, it's easy to have it online, but it's a little difficult because you want to be hands on per se. So
now nursing school it is pretty hands on. Like they have you come in and work on, they pretty much like make these fake bodies with the blood and all that stuff in there. Like, how does that work for you?
yeah, so basically the classes it'll be online, and then it'll be 3 days of on campus. So basically, it's more sort of like a hybrid class. Do clinicals, labs, tests, quizzes within the classroom those 3 days out the week. So everything else is online, the lectures, and the homework.
Well, I mean, that sounds a lot better though. Like I said, I mean,
Hmm.
the flexibility is always a big thing. So
Yeah.
before we go any further, little known fact about me is I was in the medical field briefly.
Hmm.
Briefly, I was in the medical field. I went through EMT school in
Oh, nice.
2014, and through EMT school, they make you go through clinical rotations at hospitals.
Hmm.
Now, I will never forget. This is my first time, obviously being in a hospital without having anything wrong with me personally, like in the
Hmm.
emergency room area. So I'm there, and I'm doing what the nurses are telling me to do. And one thing I noticed is that the nurses, they all smoke cigarettes all the time.
All of them.
When I went on for rides with the ambulances, they smoked the EMTs and firefighters smoke cigarettes all the time. Now, from my understanding, this is this is very stressful situation for you to be in because I was there. I've seen people come in, you're unresponsive. You gotta
Hmm.
give them CPR.
Hmm.
You're pumping their chest. There's no movement. Their wife is in the next room crying her eyes out. They have their family
Yeah.
there. It's just that seems like yes, Dan, you're right. I studied my damn ass off. I really did. But it
Right.
seems like it's really stressful, and I just want to know like how do you plan on combating that stress? Like I mean, I know it's like a lot of nurses. They literally, I promise you, like they smoke a cigarette like every 5 minutes. Not even kidding. I can't make that up.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I don't. Well, fortunately, I don't smoke cigarettes, so we don't have to worry about that. However, as far as dealing with stress, even on a day to day now, I just, try to keep my faith alive and pray about it and just know that I'm here helping somebody else. And that makes me happy as a whole, knowing that I'm healing and helping somebody else's family members. So, it's gonna be a tough ride, but I have a strong mental, I'm getting there. It's working. It's working. I'm just starting to, focus on what's important, and that's helping me build my mental so that I can deal with certain people who have, you know, sick family members and that nature. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, prayer does help, but it does seem like a lot of people seek for like the immediate thing. Like sometimes prayer takes a little time. These guys,
Hmm.
okay, so I'll give you another story from me. They had a mental health patient area in the hospital, and there
Hmm.
was this one lady in there. I'll never forget. It was like a middle aged black woman. She was in there just sitting there, And I was like, well, she's in here, why is she in there? And apparently, this when we get real. This is a real show. Let's Talk It Out. It's about there's no fluff on this show. I tell people if you want fluff, go watch Dr. Phil. But it gets real.
Right.
She's sitting there. I asked the nurse, like, what's the deal with her? And the nurse goes, well, apparently her mom passed away over a month ago, and she kept her mom in the bed at the house, and she's been sleeping in the bed with her dead mom for for a month straight.
Oh,
And that's
abnormal.
yeah, I mean that's the kind of things that you will encounter. Spoiler alert, Jasmine.
Right.
When you get to the hospital, you will encounter people that deal with mental health problems. They are sometimes they're not stable. It could be extreme. It could be something small. Someone could think like from one time I went to the hospital personally because I was having an anxiety attack, panic attack, and one of the symptoms of that is you feel your heart beating rapidly, and
Yeah.
it's like you feel like you're about to die. So the first thing you think of when you think about rapid heartbeat, what's the first thing you think? You're about to have a heart attack. You're about to pass out. So I just went to
Exactly.
I went to the hospital, put the EKG on my chest. Like, oh, you're just fine, man. And you're thinking to yourself, well, what the heck, man? Like I didn't feel like I was fine 12 minutes ago. I feel like I was about to die. So not just talking about even the hospital. I'm gonna ask you a little bit more personal questions. We're gonna dive right into there. Have you have any experience with like some kind of anxiety or depression growing up?
Yes, I did. I had started experiencing depression around 16, 17. And then, anxiety started, arising as well. I kind of still have anxiety attacks every now and again. It's not a good feeling. Just trying to balance out the adult life is a lot within itself. Growing up in high school, I say this going back to when I was a child, I'm the youngest of five. So I have two brothers and two sisters. And I have a stepbrother and stepsister that grew up together. And I have a brother and sister that pretty much grew up together as well. So I was kind of like the oddball out per se. I felt like the black sheep every now and again. I really couldn't do too much with everybody else because I was younger, and it kind of stuck with me as I got older. So in school, I bullied a little bit, because I was that student who was, I guess, well mannered, and I went to a public school. I actually went to Kennedy School right down the street. So yeah, I went to Kennedy and I got bullied. It was a public school, and I actually transferred out of a Lutheran school. So going to public school, dealing with public kids who aren't really aware of quote unquote well mannered kids because I'm quiet, so they happen to bully me every now and again. So that kind of stuck with me as well as I grew up a little bit. Going into high school, I also attended Bloom as well. That's pretty much where I met a lot of people. However, I transferred junior year into Marian Catholic, and obviously it's a complete different, diversity of people. You're dealing with a public school from Bloom. You go to a Catholic school with really upscale, smart, nerdy students. And I didn't feel like I fit in at the time because, my academics wasn't where I wanted it to be. I'm super smart. However, trying to transfer into a Catholic school, they learn a lot at junior year, writing research papers and, things of that nature. So I wasn't really super educated as I wanted to be or what I thought I would be. My grade point average wasn't super high like everybody else. I didn't really have a lot of friends. I had one friend I went to grade school with that sort of kind of carried on into Marian. However, she had her own little clique. That's one thing I never had is a clique. Like it was just, kind of fit in. I did run track there. So I met a lot of friends running track. But like I said, once again, I didn't really have that set of group of friends. With that being said, my social life started turning around as I got older. Even in college, I met people freshman year, sophomore year. All of my friends in freshman, sophomore year, they transferred out. So once again, I'm still feeling like I'm by myself. I didn't join any organizations. I didn't, join any sports teams. I was just kind of solely to myself because I was nervous to do so, to reach out and to do things of that nature. So even though I was super educated, super talented, I know to do a lot of things, athletic, I sing, I write, I draw, I do a lot of stuff, but I just could never bring it to anybody else's attention because I was always scared of how other people would portray me. Um, so that kind of swarmed into me falling down into depression. My social life is a huge, huge factor of my depression. Me being very social and me being very easily to talk to, and I'm super funny. Everybody loves me, but however, not being able to have that group of people to be around, or more so giving more um, attention to others that I wasn't getting back because I take my friendships and relationships very seriously. So I feel like, I put forth a foot that, I get set back a couple steps and it's just, I kind of get rejected. That's how I feel when people don't really too much give me what I give them. So that's definitely a huge factor with my depression. As far as me dealing with it, I would cry a lot, a whole lot. Um, couldn't really too much open up about it to anybody, especially my parents. Well, I would say my mom. Like my mom, super. Hmm, she's not really,
She's really like a strict person, or
not really strict, but it's just like she doesn't understand because she hasn't gone through that.
she's
Like,
set in her ways of her growing up. Pretty much, she's not
yep,
understanding of the children of these days, and that we
yeah,
live different lifestyles than what we did in the '60s and '70s.
yes, definitely. And what's crazy? She's actually writing a memoir right now about as when she grew up. And it's kind of funny because I see a couple of things that she went through that I'm kind of going through. Um, she wrote that, she couldn't really too much make any choices on her own. So she kind of pretty much followed what everybody wanted her to do and just to make everybody else happy. And that's exactly what I do because I don't want to see anybody else pissed off at me or, you know, saying something on the side about me. So I always want to make sure I'm doing something to make somebody else happy. And that brought me down a lot because it's like I don't really too much focus on my happiness. So I had to veer off a lot. I didn't really realize that until last year when I turned 25. And, they say 25 is an age where you really start growing up and starting realizing like, okay, this is not for me. Let's time to move around because it's no point of wasting time on anything that's not helping you pursue what you want to do in life. And that goes for people as well. So I started cutting off a lot of people. It hurt a lot because I care for those people a lot. And it's just like you can't really get anybody to understand you. You just got to move around from it. So that's pretty much how I go from there.
So, from what I'm understanding from what you're saying, it just seems like you've always been rejected your whole life. Um,
In a sense, yeah.
yeah, I mean, just not a full summary, but just the outside looking in from what you just
Hmm.
explained. It seems like
Hmm.
in the house, at public school, you didn't fit in because people were bullying you. Uh, Private school, Catholic school, and sometimes like when we're younger, we always we try to put forth an effort to fit in, be like everyone else.
Hmm.
But what we don't understand is that being different is what makes us special, and that's I'm not to sound like too Disney Channel-ish, but
Right.
but
It makes sense though.
it's but in
I
all
realize it too.
in all honesty, being different is to me is more important than fitting in with other people.
It
Um,
definitely is.
if I was to fit in with other people, I probably wouldn't do anything right now, but have like maybe 3 baby mamas, and I don't know, sell weed or something like that. You know,
Yeah, pretty much.
I wouldn't be doing a mental health podcast every Thursday.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I've realized and learned over the years. Like I'm glad that I'm not everybody else, and I've had people that I don't really talk to on a daily tell me like, Jazz, you are really like you're doing it. Like you're smart, you're beautiful, you have an amazing personality. It's not a lot of people out here who have degrees and are really trying to focus on a career per se. So, and I took a lot of that to heart, and it really helped me mentally to understand like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is helping me build my mental strength, knowing that people actually believe in me, people have faith in me and what I'm doing. And it helps me have faith in myself as well. So, because honestly, I really didn't have a lot of it. And that's why I started turning closer to God. I pray a lot. I go to church, you know what I'm saying? And I try to keep my faith because I know that, He's going to put me where I need to be at the end of the day, whether I have anybody around me or not. I've learned that, even this past year, 2018, I've cut off so many people. I've learned so many lessons and learned how to maneuver around people and learn how to, carry out situations, and not lash out, which is what I'm used to doing because I let a lot of stuff build up and I just lash out and people are like, you tweaking, like, but it's like a lot of people don't understand that what I go through. And depression is it's real. It's really real.
A lot of people,
My
a lot of people think depression is just a feeling of sadness, and that's not what depression is.
It's really not. Like
You're
my
not.
brother has it too.
It's not.
So
It's not staring out your window when it's raining and sad music playing in the background. You
right,
don't feel like doing anything. That's not what it is,
right.
man. Uh, I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. Depression is it's levels to it. Number one, by the grace of God, I have not been suicidal, but I pray for those who have, and I always want to reach out to people who have been because it's a purpose for everybody. Everybody's trying to find what they're here for, and as long as you believe in God, He's gonna really show you what you're here for. So I really want to encourage people to just understand that you're here for a reason, and I've had a couple friends who've taken their own life because it's just so much going on. And it hurts to know that people actually have to go through that, even younger than me. I'm 25, and I've had, girls that I ran track with, people I went to school with. And it's just like, it breaks my heart to know that people don't have anybody in their corner. And it really hurts to see in our society that kids are taking their own life. 9, 10-year olds. I'm just like, they're 10. What do you know about depression? And that it goes from a failed parents
Yeah,
parenting.
yeah, failed parenting for the fact that they don't pay attention to their kid or what their kid is going to. Like,
Hmm.
and sometimes the parent's life can immediately cause depression to the kids. Like, if the mom
Yep.
is always arguing with the dad and they're not really paying attention to the kid because they're fussing back and forth, and the kid's confused. Like, in that confusion, it could just, you know, he doesn't know. Those loud noises and those violent sounds causes the kid to be scared and afraid, so they don't
Right.
really want to express themselves because they're afraid that that's going to happen. Those noises and that violence is going to come towards them, and with them
Right.
holding in all those feelings, they got to come out somehow, and that's how depression forms in those children. They're
Yes.
exposed to these types of behaviors, and they subconsciously begin to believe that that's normal behavior, so they grow up thinking that, and it's it can be passed down to people.
It definitely can. That's one thing I try to get people to understand too. Like, um, when I was an undergrad, I was really huge in studying psychology. To this day, I love picking people's brains. I want to know what people think, how they think, why they think it, and how it passes on from generation to generation. And a lot of people don't understand that a lot of traits that people have come from where they came from. So I always try to tell people, like, it's important to know and to pay attention to how you grew up because in all reality, that's pretty much how you're going to come out, whether you like it or not. It happens. Everybody has that certain trait that they have from their parents or their childhood that sticks with them that they try to break from. But I always encourage everybody to just if you're suffering from a mental, illness, just seek help. It's help out here. Don't be bottled in. Write about it, journal about it, pray about it, talk about it, do whatever you got to do. Just don't bottle it in, because that's really it's going to tear you apart on the inside. And me personally, I'm very outspoken, so I don't have a problem telling people how I feel. But one thing I don't like is people being opinionated. I don't ask you to just tell me how you feel. I'm asking you to listen. And that's the issue with our society now. A lot of people don't listen. They just like to talk. So that it might veer me back from like, okay, let me not say nothing to you because you're about to get on my nerves. I'm just going to keep it to myself and I'm going to write about it. And I've learned to journal a lot now. This is my year of journaling. I'm not going to talk to a lot of people that are judgmental and opinionated because they don't know any better. It's always something to say. It's just like, can you just shut up and listen for like 5 minutes?
I always tell people when they, and I reach out to people that talk to me about the show and they send me messages, and I always encourage them to journal and write their ideas down. Like I've always tell people, and sometimes I ask them to write me something to read off on the show. It's a way for me to keep them engaged in the show. Just let them know that the show is not for me. It's for everybody else. I want you to write for me, and I'll read off what you wrote on the show. And everybody loves doing that.
Yeah.
My mom says not fitting in is powerful, especially when you have to be a leader and trailblazer that way. If you're just like everybody else, you can't be a leader. I'm sorry. Why would you stick out if you're just like everybody else? What makes you able to do something different than everybody else? So, I just, that's really powerful. I wanted to make sure that got into the airwaves. So when people listen back, they hear that. Having a faith strengthen you through a lot of things that get many people stuck. Faith provides hope for what's to come. You can trust in God because He's in control, gives you direction, guidance, and purpose. So, my mom has a very strong faith, and she keeps it real. That's what she's doing right now.
I see.
It's a great topic tonight. Everybody loves you. Everyone says it's a great guest.
Oh, thanks, guys. Thank you for having me. This is something that I always wanted to do. Just, try to encourage people to, help those who are in need. Do whatever you got to do. But it's always somebody around who, might need another shoulder to cry on or, somebody to talk to. So I like to talk a lot and, especially about things that I go through, experiences that I've encountered in life. So yeah, I totally appreciate it.
And I do really appreciate you coming on. But another thing, like I always ask people, like when they come on the show and they bring up church, I like to bring up how, yes, church is very important. Religion is very important. It's a big part of society. It's a big part of our day-to-day lives. Even if you don't actually believe in it, it's still a part of your life. I just want to know why. It's just, in church, I've never really grown up. I've never really heard much about depression or anxiety or PTSD or hell, I haven't even heard anybody in church talk about domestic violence before. I really haven't. I just want to know why those are such trivial topics. Like, why are they not like ignored at church? That's all I want to know. Like, I don't want you to give me an answer why. I want you to give me your opinion about that topic.
I mean, I agree with you. Those are very important topics that need to be discussed because it's like I said, it's more prevalent nowadays. You didn't really too much. I mean, let me say it like in the 90s, you didn't really too much hear about it like that. So growing up in the 2000s, it's just like you hear everywhere somebody's in a domestic situation or, it's more awareness, I should say, awareness for mental illness. And maybe that was just me growing up. I never really heard about it like that. But like you were saying, it's it's something that needs to be talked about in church. And technically speaking, my pastor always refers to how, God is going to give us bigger opportunities. He's going to shut down all the negativity. He always mentions depression. Like, God is going to get rid of your depression. This is literally every single church service.
What church? What church do you go to? I might have to visit there because
I go to New Life Covenant. They were actually just doing services at UIC Forum, but he changed over to do it at the Chicago State. So he does 4 services: a 7:30, a 9:30, 11:30, and a 1:30. I go to 11:30 because
do they have the do they have like the tapes or something or like a download? Because I'm not.
They do.
Okay.
They do. They have live.
I don't feel like putting on a good shirt and going to go sit around with strangers. I'll just listen to it.
Yeah, they have live. They record live on. Okay. I'm gonna send you the information after the show, but they have an app. You can. They have the live recordings. And yeah, it's very open. It's good to have a fun pastor.
And I don't want to bash church. That's not what I'm doing. I just want. I want your opinion about how that topic is not really talked about. Like, not just depression. Like, there's probably about, in a typical church, like 200-300 people there, maybe 400. About a good I don't know, 50 couples or something like that.
Right.
So you mean to tell me out of all these people, you guys never talk about domestic violence? Because I'm pretty sure out of all those people, about maybe a good 25 to 30% of them experience it regularly throughout the week.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree.
And it's never talked about. It's just something that's swept under the rug until it's actually going down. You don't. In schools they don't really talk about it. Growing up, you either see it or you don't see it. They don't talk about it. They don't talk about avoiding it. It's just something that I feel like that they need to bring up in church. To light a fire under some people. Make them know that that's not normal. You don't have to accept that. They shouldn't have to come listen to Let's Talk It Out to find out that that's not normal.
Right.
That's true. Some people think because they grew up and they saw their mom and their dad going through it, that's just something that's supposed to happen. That just means he loves you because he chokes you to death.
Right. And it's not. And once, like you said, it's more so, what's the word I'm trying to use? It's more visible in our generation. So now it's kind of like our turn to kind of, bring it to life and bring the awareness to life. However, there are some churches who have awareness programs for mental illness. But at the same time, it's not necessarily broadcasted as much as it needs to be. It's only like, oh, there's a sign-up table for this, oh, there's a sign-up table for that. But like you said, it's not super visible for everybody to see. It's not really talked about like that. And, I guess that's just something that our generation has to work on. And we probably won't, because our generation is like not up to par right now. So everybody's all over the place. Nobody really knows how to deal with too much. So it takes a smart one to, really pull out what's important in life. So.
Yeah, because, granted, they do have sign-up tables at church, but I'm not about to sign up for a new members class. I'm sorry. I don't feel like I don't want to be a part of no bake sale. I'm not about to come do no car wash to raise money for you guys to go on a mission trip. I'm sorry. I just want to come. Right. I want to hear about real life issues. I want to hear about, granted, I do enjoy services. I like hearing about Noah and Abraham and all that, but I want to hear about, how Sister Jones comes to church with a black eye and nobody talks about that. I want to hear about that stuff. I want to know about reality.
Right.
I want to know about
that's true.
Real life. This isn't like make believe TV stuff. I want to hear this is real. This is real gritty. The world is cruel and it's cold and it's unforgiving. And we need to be put in a comfort. We need to come to church and be comforted. You don't need to just not hear about the stuff. But I'm about to completely completely leave the topic alone because I don't want to go there.
Right. Hey,
I'm
you gotta do
sorry.
what you gotta do.
So I just want to ask, aside from school and aside from work, you said you're single, right?
I am. Been
So,
single.
so
I got tired of dealing with just whoever.
yeah, I want to ask about how was your parents' relationship growing up? Just to get a little.
Well, I actually grew up with my stepdad. My stepdad's been around since I was 1 years old. Since we've brushed this topic, I can go into that as well. My stepdad's been around since I was 1 years old, so he pretty much we were all raised, all five of us, meaning my sisters and brothers and I, and my parents, all seven of us. I'm sorry, were raised in one house. I grew up with my step siblings, so I don't really have that, evil side to the step side. We're pretty much like all blood. As far as my parents, my biological father is not present in life. Honestly, don't really too much care to know who he is, because I feel like I've had my parent already. My parents have raised all of us to be very, very successful. They weren't really like strict. Like I say it like this: my dad's super lenient. My dad's a principal at TF North. He's been a principal since I've been a kid. He's been about at 3 or 4 schools now, and my mom has shifted jobs, but it's always been within education. So, that's one thing that they've enforced to us about a lot. And, we were raised in a very good household, very fortunate parents. Um, so that's a big plus for us because now we can actually have some sort of, what's the word I'm trying to use?
Stability.
They stability, and they taught us to be professional. They taught us to be pretty much kind of like everything they've been. My parents are my biggest inspiration, period. Like my mom, like I was saying, I was reading her memoir. My mom has been through a lot. My mom had 3 kids before she was 30 and still remained to graduate college, get her PhD, and take care of 3 kids and work and things of that nature. So, she's been through a lot, but she's come out very, very strong. On the other hand, my father came from a rough childhood. Um, However, he's been the most successful on his side of the family. So, it's for them to come together and kind of have some sort of relatable, um, what I'm trying to say. They are pretty much big stepping stones for us. Like I was saying, my older sister is a lawyer. My other sister, she just went back for school for her second master's in business. My brother plays basketball in Germany, and my other brother's an English teacher. So, we've all kind of just swarmed around our own careers. But since we want to talk about parents and that, my go back to my real father. Don't really too much know about anything about him. He's reached out every now and again, but honestly, that's something that I really too much don't talk about because it kind of
It's a spot.
it's a soft spot,
Okay, because
a big soft spot.
CB fan literally just asked about what are some of the triggers for you
Okay.
with your depression.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that if someone not being in your life and you growing up wondering why he's not, you know, that could be a very big trigger.
Yeah.
Your
And
mom,
just kind of in the time frame that it happened, I really too much. And I actually decided to ask my mom. I wanted, and I remember this like very vaguely. I was a junior in college, and I was in my apartment. I just asked her like, "Mom, what happened to you and my dad?" Like, I just really don't remember anything about him. But it's funny because I can remember things in my childhood, growing up with my stepfather and my step siblings. I just don't remember anything that happened with my real dad. So I'm like, what happened with you guys? She was like, well, he wasn't ready to be a father. And it kind of smacked me in the face because it's like, okay, it's not, it wasn't expected out of, to have a quote unquote deadbeat dad, just being from a successful family and my mom dealing with so much and being on her own when she was in her 20s, raising three kids. And then comes my real dad, and I'm the last child. You see, she has two children and you don't even try to contribute, let alone be a parent. So it's just like, who are you? Really? So once again, I really didn't too much get into detail with that. And I've actually spoke to my friend, actually a couple weeks ago. It's funny, I just brought it up. I was gonna, try to get into actual detail about her and my dad and what happened with them because it's actually something that needs to be talked about. And I really encourage parents to talk to their kids because they don't. A lot of parents don't talk to their kids, and it leaves a gap in their relationship. And a lot of kids don't feel comfortable talking to their parents about anything because their parents don't talk to them about anything. So, one day it'll come about. As far as me rekindling my relationship, honestly, I don't really too much care about it because I'm kind of, like I said, I have my parents. My stepdad's been around since I was a kid. He's been everything to me. He's been a help when my mom stresses me out almost like all the time. And I feel more comfortable talking to my father about a lot of things because he'll get me to understand like, okay, he'll kind of reassure me like, okay, you're doing good. You just have to kind of be more upfront about what you're doing and things of that nature and just be honest. And, I know you're upset about your mom and all the stuff like that. And, everybody knows how my mom is. Not to bash her. My mom's amazing. She's an amazing individual. I love her to death. But it's just, sometimes she's just a lot. And I get it. She doesn't want me to make the same mistakes or whatever she did in her past. So, it's understandable. But, trying to get through my mom is a little difficult. So we're working on it, but yeah. Story of my parents.
Yeah, your stepdad sounds like, for someone to be able to step into you and your siblings' lives and just become the person that your dad couldn't be and being strong enough to raise someone else's kids, that's just incredible. You're taking up responsibility that's not even yours. Granted, it becomes his responsibility once he marries your mom.
Right.
But even before he married her, when they were just dating, he knew in his mind like, with this woman comes this, and not to talk about you, but it is quote unquote baggage that comes on when you date someone and they have kids already. That's baggage.
I agree.
And not just the kids, but the hurt from the past relationship.
Yep.
Because once you are with someone in that point where you guys are having kids and stuff, you think you're going to be with that person for the long run.
Right.
And that's baggage that comes into the next relationship. And for him to be strong enough to be able to take on that and be around and be a good father to you, that's very incredible. That's good stuff right there.
Yeah.
Not everybody's ready to set up and get into that type of position and be able to succeed at it. So
right.
They're in the chat room saying that dude is a great man.
Thanks.
They're giving him props.
I appreciate it.
And
he deserves it. My parents deserve it all. Honestly, I always want to give back to them, even though they're like, "Don't spend your money." Nah, nah. I'm like, "Mom, relax. Let me give you a." You know what I'm saying? And then it'll be like, she'll be like, "Don't spend your money," but then it's like, if she needs something, she needs to pay for it. I'm like, so which one you want me to do? Either you want me to help you buy things, or you want me to be lavish towards you. You deserve it, so why not? I tell my parents all the time, why not? You're supposed to give back to your parents because they do a lot for you. So, yeah.
I try to. It's just I'm poor. No, I'm kidding. No,
our parents don't expect anything out of us. They just want us to do good in life.
The,
That's really, I just want you to do good. I don't
the,
care what you do, just do good and be happy with it. My dad
they
has
want
always enforced that.
they want you to make them proud. That's the most important thing you could ever do for your
That's
parents, is
it.
make them proud, make them have conversation to be able to have with other people. Be like, hey, you know what, my son or my daughter does this and this. My
Oh
mother
yeah.
my mother says, she says this man's a real man to love the woman and her children who's a part of her. That's true.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
my boy
I
Dan
agree.
says, my stepdad has been great to us, but I would say it is far from family. I like to hear about someone that stepped in and did it right.
Mhm.
And sometimes, like, for men personally, like, if you're already at the understanding age of what's going on, if your mom brings in a new guy, it's going to be a little friction. Like, you're like, hey, you're not my dad, and, blah, blah,
Right,
blah.
and it was like really bad. Like honestly, we still call my dad by his first name. It's not go, hey dad. Just call him by his first name. That's actually what we've been doing since we were kids. Me and my actual blood siblings. We call him by his real name. But if I'm referring to him like, oh yeah, my dad, I'm going over there to see my dad, or I'm going up to school to see my dad. I literally just started doing that maybe like last year. Before that it'll be, yeah, my stepdad this and my stepdad that. But it's just like, let me take the step off because this is my father. This is the person that my mother married. So, and he's literally raised all five of us in one household, and that's rare. So, the title changed, but yeah, figured out that I didn't out there.
Well,
But
well, yeah. I mean, if he raised you and that's your dad. But if you're already like, a teenager slash almost an adult type thing, then it's like that's whatever his first name is. No, I'm kidding. It's whatever you want to call him. If you want to call the man dad, then you call him dad.
call him
That's
dad.
cool. Whatever works.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I'm gonna ask you, Jasmine, if you have any closing remarks you want to tell everybody.
Um, I just want everybody to be happy, and never give up on what you want in life. If you just put your dreams to action, do what you want to do what you have to do. Just as long as you know what I'm saying, have focus with what you want to do. Don't worry about whatever else is going on because at the end of the day, people are going to respect you as a person if they see you proceed in life. And that goes, on the outside and the inside. A lot of people are going to realize who you are as a person by what you do. And, I just want everybody to just spread love and peace and prosper. I feel like 2019 is the year of growth. And I see that in a lot of people across everywhere. Like this is everybody's year to just really get on what they got to do. And I am all for it. I love to see, positivity around. I try to surround myself around nothing but positivity as far as me being networking or, just doing my own thing. But I just want to spread love wherever I can because you just never know what anybody's going through. So, yeah.
The chat room is kind of sad that the show is ending already. It's like, oh, they were enjoying your transparency. They're saying that you're a great guest, and thank you, Jasmine, and Jasmine stepdad is rock solid. Everybody really enjoyed you coming on.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. This is actually just gave me a boost of energy, and just kind of got me a little happy. This is awesome. This is great.
I mean, it's always great to talk it out. Right?
It is. It really is. And once again, I appreciate you and thank you for the opportunity. And hopefully we can maybe work together, you know what I'm saying, and kind of build something. And yeah.
Are you trying to throw a pitch out there?
I mean, you know what I'm saying? If you're trying to catch it, what's good?
I don't talk business during show hours. That being said, everybody, like I said earlier in the show, I want to reiterate. Next week will be the last time that the show will be live on Mixler.com. We are moving over to YouTube to do video podcasts, and there will be a chat room available as well. The links will be spread all over social media on LTIO Podcast on Instagram and Twitter, or you can follow me. You guys know most of you follow me anyway, Trey Bizzy on Twitter and on Instagram as well. You guys have me on Facebook. The Facebook for the podcast is Let's Talk It Out Podcast. We will have our own Podbean, iOS, Android setups for everybody to download the podcast after we're done recording. So you guys won't have any excuses to say you can't listen to it once it's out. So with that being said, I want to tell everybody to have a great week, and I'm looking forward to talking to you guys again next week.